This is a Poulan Pro snow thrower. It's the PR300 series. Now this model is the exact same thing. Well, not exactly, but the motor and everything, you'll find the same thing as the Husqvarna ST224, a few other ones as well. It's a LCT engine. I'm told it's made in China, but I guess there's a lot of Briggs & Stratton, apparently. Some of their models is made in China as well. I mean, I've had it for a few years. It's not a review. I'm going to show you. I just changed the belt, auger belt, so I forgot to videotape it, so I'm just going to do it again and just show you. I couldn't, you know, it's pretty straightforward, but I actually didn't see too many videos on the Poulan Pro. And, you know, if you know that it's the same thing as the model Husqvarna ST224, then no problems. But most people don't know that. I didn't know that at first either. I knew that Poulan Pro, you know, was bought, I believe, bought by Husqvarna, but I didn't know that it had, you know, that this was the same as the other models and so on. So, so what we're going to do is, okay, let me have a look here, see what you see. Okay. First of all, you're going to, so you can see better. Wait, now. Hold on here. Hold on. Okay, we need to put I'll turn the valve off. She's going to leak some oil or gas, as some people call it, dinosaur juice. But put your plastic bag over your gas cap, under your gas cap, I guess, better way of saying it. But okay, we got that. So what? I didn't run the carburetor dry, so, but we will tip it up its front housing. Okay. Now, what do you see? What do you see? Said the blind man. Okay. It's hard to see what. Okay. That's as good as any, I guess. You know. So, yeah. So anyway, I'll just show you first. What you're going to do is you're going to, I believe these are 3/8. I'll let you know in a second. There's 4 of those on the belly pan. So you're going to take this off. Then we're going to tip it down. And then we're going to take the belt cover off. Okay. As you can probably see, there is gas, dinosaur juice leaking out of there. But I closed the valve for the gas tank, so I have no, just a light on, so it should be okay. It's not a lot. Anyway, so what we will do is we will sit you right here for now. So, now, I do believe it is, maybe it is a 3/8. But I'm pretty sure it is. All right. So you just, like I say, you just want to put it on here. Man, it's cold. Shit. So So, like I say, I looked on YouTube and there isn't a lot for the Poulan Pro. And if you have one of these and you have trouble finding a auger belt like I did, the belt is 35 1/4, but 35 would work okay. You can't go too tight because your auger, you know, is going to continuously move, and you don't want that because it's a safety issue. I have arthritis in my hands, so bear with me here. So you just take these 4 off. You don't have to start here. You can take this off second if you want. It don't matter. But I just takes it off. These bolts are a little bit on an angle. They're not machined. The holes weren't drilled exactly. I swear. So, put that aside. They're all the same length. The bolts are all the same length, so you don't have to worry about, you know, what goes where. So I'll just, you know, since we're at this, I will just show you the parts of it, which I'm sure a lot of you already know. So this here, this is the friction disc. Well, this is the friction disc, the wheel. But this here, this pulley, I guess, platform, it turns with the motor. Oops. Crappy, come on, bear with me here. So when this is turning, you pull the lever, this will come up to meet your friction disc, which in turns, as you see, turns the wheels. Now, this, I believe she's in reverse now anyway, but when you put it in reverse, this will slide over, right? Because as this disc turn, when you move it on the other side, the wheel is going to turn the opposite, right? Because the wheel turns this way, it's going to cause this wheel to turn one way. When you switch it over to this side, opposite's going to happen. So that's how your reverse, your different speeds work. And as the closer to the center you go, the faster, the farther away from the center, I believe, the faster this wheel will turn. So that's how you get your different speeds. On this particular model, you see these, can you see that? These gears here. When you pull on the lever, the little trigger sort of deal underneath, this will lift up. I don't know if you can see that, but this lever will lift up, causing this wheel to be free turning. So that's how it makes it easier to turn, is because this will become free turning and this one will be driving, so it will turn. And the same thing on the other one. I'm going to have to look at it because it's not working exactly. So I think there's a spring that, you know, pops it back to position. So maybe it's weak. So that's the gist of it. And if you lube, you know, grease up your machine, your hex shaft area, you can grease that, but just make sure you don't get any grease on the disc, because it's just going to slip and you wear out prematurely your friction disc. And you grease your gears. I use well, any grease almost, but low temperature grease is best. I use white lithium low temperature grease. So enough of that. Let's let's get in here, and we're going to tip this down. Well, I'll try to tip it down without breaking you guys. So, well, I better, since we got it up, you're on the tripod, so it's hard for me to get maneuver here. Let me do it this way. It's probably easier just to go down like this. Now, okay, so right here, I'm gonna get a flashlight here so you know what I'm talking about. So, right where that light is shining, you see the numbers here? Well, right here, this here is a little shroud almost. Your belt is on the inside of that, between the pulley and this part here. Now, over here, you may not be able to see, but if I could get the sun and the light, okay. You see that right there where my finger is? You can see there's a nub, a lever with a little nub sticking out. That's your brake. So when you let go of the auger lever, that be's pulled with a spring, and it's your belt, and within 5 seconds or so, the belt stops turning. You know, so your auger, it's a safety issue. Nobody, you know, with kids and that. So that's that. I just wanted to point that out. Excuse me. Excuse moi. Now, I get you set up again. Bear with me. We'll get her done. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. There. No, that's not right. We got another one here. I don't think that's right either. Is it? Come on. Something is not right. All right. Anywho. Okay. Now I'll tip her down now. Not much room in my storage shed is. So now let's do that, and then I will move you over here so you can see, hopefully. So what we're going to do, I'll show you. Get my flashlight again. So right here, how's that, what I'm illuminating right here, there's just two bolts, the same as the belly pan. So there's one here, one on the other side. You'll need an extension just to clear the bar here, and when I get that done, we'll continue. Come on, baby. Okay, where? Okay, you can see there. I'll take this. Take this. It's a good job you can't see me because my head is my hair. I was out doing the snow. 50-mile-an-hour winds, which is not too bad. But I'm sick of winter. We've had so much snow this year, it's unbelievable. Just enough to turn the Eskimo stomach. I guess you can't call them Eskimos. Indigenous? Is that what they are now these days? But it's enough. Anyway, I guess turn a polar bear stomach. Is that more politically correct? Okay, that's that one. And let me get this one here. My little stubby ratchet wasn't working all that well. It would slip, you know, when you go in one direction. And I should have filmed it. Not that it's, I guess there'd be a million videos on that, but okay. You know, me being smart, I tied my cable right in the way. There's just a little clip here to get your cable off. Now, you have to turn your chute a certain way. More, okay, if you're standing behind this, it'll be more to your right, and you'll just lift it up, kind of manipulate it however way you need to. Okay. And Bob's your uncle. So that's the cover off. I'll give you. Let me pick you up here and see a little better, I guess. So, I guess. Oh, scared the shit out of me. So, where are we? I can't see on camera, but this, yeah. This ear is your drive. This ear is your auger. Now, like I say, I just changed it, and a little while ago, and I ran for a couple hours. But what you would do, you would say your belt was broken. Well, you don't have to do anything, only just take your belt out. Put your new belt. It's just a little, see this little keeper? You know, the belt just fits in there. I just forced it in. I didn't loosen off the bolts. You can if you want. There's 2 bolts here and you can loosen up, but I didn't have to. And you put your belt, pull back this idler tension pulley, pull that back, put your belt in, right? You're not going to put it on the pulley yet, this pulley. And you're just going to shove it down there. Where it needs to be. You'll see between these two is a pulley right there. You see it. And then you won't be able to get it all the way through. Now you have to tip up the machine again, because I'll show you why in a second. So don't get dizzy on me here, because moving all around. Okay, so you tip this up again. Ooh, without breaking my light. Ah, piss off. All right, what can you see? Nothing but a tire, huh? So I'll bring you here. Right, now I already explained about the, now we're okay. I was explaining to you about this brake. Well, this plate right here moves up, right, to come up and put pressure on your friction disc. Just a little bit. The belt won't quite fit between, because it don't go on this pulley, it goes on this one, right? Well, what you do, well, you can do either way. You can put a longer screwdriver in and just gently pry up on this, you know, see that? I don't know if you can. Or you can just, now maybe that you can see that better. You just tie your handle down, see that? See? Just tie your handle like that. That'll bring this up enough so you can pull your belt down. Put it in between this little guard here, right? And you'll see, I mean, I don't need to show you that. If you're attempting this on your own, I mean, you're pretty good at it, right? Figuring it out. So you just put that in. Make sure it's between your brake. Some people have made a mistake not having it quite in the pulley, between the brake and the pulley, right? Also, you might want to tie down your lever for your auger, because when you tie your lever down up there on the handle, this you know, this whatever the hell it is, the brake will swing out, so the brake is off, so it's easier to put your belt on. So when you get your belt on the bottom here, you can release then your brake, the auger lever, and the brake will go in and will keep the belt from falling off for the most part. Sometimes on this side it still does, right? So I don't know if that makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. I'm sure you understand that. Then just let me tip that. So let me explain so I don't have to go tipping this down and, you know, continuously. So when you get that done, right, you're going to tip the machine back down. And then you're going to you put the belt on the inside of the tensioner pulley, the one side, and you're going to put it on the pulley. What you do is, it won't, if your belt is proper length, you won't quite just be able to push it on. So what you do is just go on push it through where the keeper is, put it on half of the pulley, and then make sure you got your switch to off, stop, and just slowly pull it over, just slowly until the pulley is turning, and the belt will bring the belt on, walk the belt onto the pulley. So when you're done that, right, you just pull on your auger lever and just pull it over slowly, and if the belt is on there, your auger will be turning, and you'll know that, right? So then you're okay. The belt never come off, it didn't slip or anything like that. So when you're done that, you can, like I'm going to do now, you're going to put your belly pan back on. Also, you know, what you can do when you have this open also is, if you see any rubber, there's very little here, but if you see any rubber on the friction plate, you can get a good rag with no oil or anything like that, and clean that off, okay? And I turns the wheel and just does the rubber on that friction disc, okay? Clean it up, because, you know, sometimes there's gunk gets in there, and as you can see, it is kind of pretty dirty. So sometimes it drips on your plate, and she has slip, you know, when you're pushing it, when she's driving, she has slip. Just preventative things, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put the belly pan on. Now you see, I don't know if you can see this, but when my belt went, you can see all the rubber chips and shavings, right? Now, granted, when the original went, I couldn't find, I phoned Poulan Pro, and I asked how much, what was the size of the belt, and they wouldn't tell me the size. They just told me to order it and they would send it to me. And I said, well, I can, you know, if I got access to belts a little cheaper, you know, if I knew the size, you know, is it a 1/2 inch by, you know, is it a V belt that's a 1/2 inch by 30 or 36, you know, because in the manual it tells you the length of the belt for the drive, which I do believe is, I only changed it once. What I don't even think I ever changed it, but I believe in the manual it says 38, right? 38 and a odd number, but 38 is fine. But when it comes to, see, these holes, it's not exactly lined up. But they wouldn't tell me. They just wanted me to order it, and I said, that's not the point. If I, you know, I bought your machine, quite expensive, I might add. So I bought your machine. So, you know, why can't you just tell me the size of the belt? But no, they would not. So I'll tell you what size. And you don't know. It is a 35¼ long inches, not miles, but 35¼ inches long, and it's a V belt, and it's a 1/2 inch wide. Now this belt is, some people call it a half V belt, meaning it's not a full, the depth of the V belt is not like the typical, you know, 5/16 or whatever it is. I don't even know, but it's quite a bit less. But it still has a taper. It still has, you can see that it has a taper, but only about half as deep. I didn't, when I got it from the guy, you know, I said, man, that don't look like the belt, right? And he says, yeah, it's saying it's a half V belt or whatever. I was skeptical, but I was more interested in the length of the belt because my belt broke. The original broke, and it just fell off and went, I don't know where, I couldn't find it, you know. So yeah, so I was more interested in the length of the belt. So it's 34, see, 35¼ long, 1/2 inch wide. You should get the proper belt. I've used you know, ordinary V belts, you know, the 4L, they're 350, whatever, right? I've used these things for stuff, but you need the Kevlar. Buy the proper belt. It's a little more expensive, but yeah, well, the hell with you say. Now, the screw. Oh, blow your nut. The screw came out. Now, let's try to find that. Oh, lucky me. I got you. I got you, babe. All right. So you'll just tip it back down. Now you, like I said, you tip it back down first. You put the belt on, try it, make sure it didn't come off. You don't turn the rod. So, you know, blah blah. So you will bring it down. Okay. And then you're going to put the the cover back on. What can you see there? I didn't say I was an expert YouTuber, you know. No, I did not. But, right, you can see the belt there. Alright, so I will get the cover. The screws don't usually fall out. That's the first time that it ever happened. They have it like a grommet, you know, there's a little something underneath that kind of holds them in a bit. So, but I've taken this off. You know, see it's missing. So yeah, whatever, man. So now putting it on is a little bit of a, okay, I'll explain what I meant by checking your to see the belt. So excuse me. So you got your belt on, you'll pull your auger thing. I just got a piece of string that holds it down. It's in the off position, right? So you just pull, and in the same time as you're pulling, I can lean over and see if the auger is moving. See? And it is. So that tells me that the belt is on. No problems. Then you get your belt cover, and say a few curse words usually, just don't go on too easy. You just gotta find the sweet spot, you know. Find that. Come on. Oh, you little bastard. So, you get it in like that. And where did I put? Oh, there, ratchet. There, Liza. There you go. And you'll just, on this side here, you can probably see, yes, this wire always gets caught underneath. So just bring that up. Use a zip tie or something if you want, but a zip tie, if you got to change it, hopefully not very often, but you know, it's in the way. But just a little tip there before you start cranking her down. So if you're lucky, you'll get it in the hole. That's what she said. But you'll get it in the hole and just start cranking her down. You don't have to go crazy. I don't even think this. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just keep going until it stops. If it's in the hole, I think it is. I think it is. So she's bottomed out there almost. So when you get it, I don't know, it's awkward as snot, but just tighten it down just a little bit, as one of the guys on YouTube say, was Astro something, Astro whatever. Tighten her down until she stops, and just a wee little bit. Seems to work. So hopefully that's in the hole. Wear glasses like me. There. Tighten her down until she stops, and just a wee little bit. So you take your bag off here. Take the bag And then open up the carb. And because you didn't drain the carb, when you open it up, you might see gas coming out of here. You just might when it gets full. Or not. But quite a few times I have seen gas come out of there because she got them too much, you know, because you've been tipping her up and down. So that is about it for that. So hopefully this helped you out a bit. I'm going to take yeah, never mind. I hope, hopefully this helped you. I know, you know, it's hard to, when I was looking on YouTube, when I first bought this, I seen no video, right? Now, when I say no video on, you know, this particular model, it's true. I seen review, I seen, you know, people taking it out and showing how much power it got, whatnot. But I didn't see anything because I didn't know that it was the same thing as Husqvarna ST224. If I would have known that, there is a couple now, not like I shown you there, but you know, it would have probably gotten me by with that, but I didn't know that it was the same model. And I even looked up, you know, to see what models are the same, and you know, you just sometimes don't get lucky on your searches right off the bat. So that's the Poulan Pro PR300, I believe. There is a PR300 ES. I don't know if that means electric start. I think they all have that particular engine has an electric start, but the review of this thing as well, no problems whatsoever. I mean, you come out at -30 and you give her maybe 3-4 primes, turn the switch, turn the choke, and pour over. And if you got to pour over twice, it's unlucky. You know, I honestly rarely had to pull 2 times, right? Which is amazing to me because usually, you know, you pull it over a few times. There is electric start on there as well, so I have never used it. I've tried it just because it's there, but never actually used it. I just pull it over. It's never given me any problems. So I think they're 16-inch wheels or 13. I don't know. Right? But that's the... it is a 30-inch cut width, right? 30 inches. It's a 254cc. I think comes out to 8 horsepower. The adjustments there, you might have to mess around with when you put a new belt. Right here, these adjustments, you just loosen this one and it turns the whole thing here. And as you turn this, it turns the bottom and the top, opposite directions. So that's how you tighten that. There's one for the auger. There is one for the drive. And I got these taped up because they do get in there, the water freezes. So there's 2 here for turning the chute. One issue is this rubber boot kind of prematurely gets a hole in it from the cable or whatever. I zip tied it to try to keep the water out, and I think I put some rubber sealant over the hole. But it's a pain in the rear end when water gets down there, freezes, because you know, it's probably right now won't even work. Like, I mean, you reef on that, right? But now she won't come back up. You know, but I know what the problem is, so Usually, I didn't check this. Usually in summer, when it's all dried out and stuff, I usually fixes this. I forgot, so when I used it the first time, it got wet. So my mistake. Anyway, great machine. I can't really say anything bad right now. I hope I don't jinx myself. A very good machine. It's, well, if you're looking at this particular model, this video, then you have the same model, I'm assuming, so you know all about it. But yeah, hopefully you can leave a comment telling me if you have this particular model and it give you no trouble, or if you had trouble. I'd like to know, so that maybe when I get into trouble, I'll know what to look for. So thank you. Please subscribe, and have a good day.